ITC results are just out, and let's check how the segments for ITC have done. The numbers are already flashing on your screen, but in terms of segment, in terms of FMCG cigarettes, we've seen a 7.7% growth. In terms of hotel, we've seen a 14.8% growth. So hotel segment is something that is really picking up here. In terms of agribusiness has come down by around 13.4%. In terms of paperboards, it's gone down by around 6.7%. This is in terms of revenues, but when we check in terms of EBIT, well, something like hotels have done extraordinarily well. The EBIT for hotels has gone up by 33.5% year on year, and in terms of segment margins, what we're seeing is in terms of cigarettes, the margins are around 62%. For hotels, it is around 30%. For agribusiness, it's around 7% and 14% for paperboards. But in terms of net profits are at 5,020 crores versus Bloomberg estimates of 5,150 crores. So pretty much in line with what the estimates were expecting in terms of the net profit estimates. But to break these numbers down for us, we have with us Priyam Tolia, Senior Research Analyst, FMCG and Retail of Axis Securities, who joins us now. Priyam, welcome to the show.
Yeah, hi.
Hi. So, Priyam, if you can help us break down these numbers of ITC, what do you think? Have they beaten your estimates? Have they met your estimates? How do the numbers look like to you?
So yeah, in terms of the overall performance, in terms of revenue and EBITDA, there is definitely a slight miss from our estimates. However, the most surprising part was on the cigarette front. So they have done relatively good in terms of the cigarette revenue and the profitability front.
Right.
So overall, if you see the cigarette revenue performance, we and the street were estimating that they have certainly performed well on that front.
Right. Now, just to understand in terms of hotel business, their hotel business is also done very well. So what are your views on that overall?
So yeah, the hotel business has been good since last many quarters, right? So if you see, most of the hotel companies have shown a good demand from that side, and also their performance has been better. So yeah, so the hotel business has also done well. So what we believe is that the hotels and the cigarette business has definitely done well this quarter.
Right. And in terms of
we are also likely to see hotel business continue to perform well.
Understood. As well. Understood. And in terms of the cigarette business, what do you think the volumes will be like? Because they never disclose their volumes. But in your opinion, is this a volume-led growth?
So what we anticipated was a flat volume growth, but so we have to check with the management with regards to the overall volume growth. What we expect is that the numbers could be better versus from our estimate. It could be a low single digit kind of a volume growth number. Because the revenue growth is 8%, right? So.
Understood. And, the margin weakness in overall FMCG sector that we always talk about, what are your views on the margins that ITC has come out with? What do you think about the margins?
So we have not seen the numbers overall per se, but if you ask me in terms of the overall FMCG margins, so in the gross margins front, the company have done well, but on the EBITDA margins front, so the overall performance on the FMCG company, the EBITDA margins would be slower compared to the gross margins because we are spending on the ad spend, right? So on the margins front, the overall FMCG companies are likely to see a slower growth on the EBITDA side.
Right. And, we've seen that the dividend that was paid out last year was around 15, and this time it is around 13.75. So what do you think the dividend, is it no longer a dividend play here?
What we believe is that ITC, if you see consistent basis, they have delivered a good set of a dividend payout, right? What we believe is that a slightly lower kind of a dividend number is okay. So we'll see how it goes.
In terms of the paperboard business, what are your views on that?
So the category, if you see the overall juice category, right? So if you see the Dabur's number in terms of overall juice, the overall out-of-home consumption, particularly the juice as a category is out-of-home consumption. And with the distribution reach of ITC, paperboard can see good fillip in terms of the overall expansion going ahead.
Right.
So overall net, if you see the FMCG segment of the ITC, so it has reached a level where it can sustain on its own cash flows. So gradually we can see most of the new brands which companies have acquired over a period of time, we'll see a good fillip going ahead.
And my last question to you, overall, I mean, going forward FY25, what are your views on ITC?
So what we believe is that the ITC, if one wants to play entire FMCG sector, right, in terms of the valuation, of course, the ITC is best in the overall pack. However, what we believe is that in overall stock price performance, we expect only a marginal growth over here. That's around 10 or 15% kind of a growth in the stock price performance as well as the dividend payout if you see. Right. So what we believe is that the overall stock price performance would be gradual compared to what we had seen in the last 2 years.